Hi, this is Mr. Tay, founder of Econcentric. Are you having difficulty with econs? Are your efforts not being translated into better grades? In this video, I'll teach you a simple method called overlapping metrics, which has helped over 1,000 students achieve better grades with less effort over 17 years. We shall look at the various instances whereby we apply PED and PES. Whenever there's a shift in the supply curve, it causes a movement along the demand curve, and therefore we apply PED. And whenever there's a shift in the demand curve, it causes a movement along the supply curve, and therefore we apply PES. The PED and PES will affect the extent of price change. When supply decreases from S to S1, if PED is more than 1, the price increases from P to P1. However, if PED is less than 1, the slope of the demand curve will be steeper and the price increase will be greater from P to P2. And whenever there is an increase in demand from D to D1, if the PES is more than 1, the price increase will only be from P to P1. However, when PES is less than 1, the slope of the supply curve will be steeper and the price increase will be greater from P to P2. Next, we shall talk about the impact on consumers' total expenditure. Here, take note that only PED is relevant and PES is not relevant. It must be noted that along a demand curve, right, the top part of the demand curve, PED is more than 1, and on the bottom part, PED is less than 1. Here, for the topic on consumers' total expenditure, the slope of the demand curve is not important. This is because one factor that affects PED is the proportion of income spent on the good. So if we were to hold income constant when price increases, the proportion of income spent on the good will increase, thereby increasing the PED value. So when we increase supply from S to S1, price decreases from P to P1 and we lose area A. However, the equilibrium quantity will increase more than proportionately from Q to Q1 and therefore we gain area B. So since B exceeds A, therefore consumers' total expenditure increases. So if PED is less than 1, right, we will increase the supply curve from S to S1 at the bottom portion of the demand curve. So price will decrease from P to P1 and thereby we lose area A. There will be an increase in equilibrium quantity from Q to Q1 that will be less than proportionate, which is why we gain area B. But then A will exceed B. So therefore consumers' total expenditure decreases instead. But however, PES for this topic is not relevant when we are talking about consumers' total expenditure. Take note that the initial total expenditure before the increase in demand is the shaded area here. However, when demand increases from D to D1, right, if PES is more than 1 or if PES is less than 1, the total expenditure will exceed the shaded area. Thereby, the PES is not relevant here. So all we need to take note of is that when demand increases, total expenditure increases. When demand decreases, total expenditure decreases. Next, we shall talk about the imposition of government indirect tax on consumers' total expenditure, producers' total revenue, and on the extent of increase in government tax revenue. So, when an indirect tax is being imposed by the government, the firm's cost of production will increase, thereby decreasing supply. So, since there's a shift in the supply curve here, we apply PED. So, we need to take note that consumers' total expenditure is P times Q. So if PED is less than 1, right, the P increase will be greater from P to P2. And there will be a less than proportionate decrease in equilibrium quantity from Q to Q2. So thereby, the total expenditure will be P2, E2, Q2, 0. However, if PED is more than 1, the price increase will be smaller from only P to P1. And the decrease in equilibrium quantity will be more than proportionate from Q to Q1. Thereby, consumers' total expenditure equals to P1, E1, Q1, 0, which is smaller. As for government tax revenue, it is equal to the specific tax per unit times Q. So you don't worry about the specific because it's constant, because the two supply curves are parallel. So the emphasis is on Q. So where's the correct Q? It is not at Q here, right? Because at Q here, the tax has yet to be imposed. So it has to be at the Q, whereby the tax has been imposed, whereby the supply has decreased. So it will be either Q1 and it will be Q2. So if your PED is less than 1, right, the quantity will be at OQ2. But if your PED is more than 1, it will be at OQ1. So thereby, the tax revenue will be greater if PED is less than 1, because OQ2 exceeds OQ1. Where else the tax per unit is constant, right? With E1B the same as E2D. So thereby, P2, E2, D, C exceeds P1, E1, B, A. As for producer's total revenue, it is the consumer's total expenditure minus the tax revenue. And this again will be greater if your PED is less than 1. Because if PED is less than 1, it will be C, D, Q2, 0. As compared to PED more than 1, it will only be A, B, Q1, 0, which is smaller. As for the incidence of taxation on producers and consumers, we need to apply both PED and PES. First, we shall talk about the application of PED. So, the consumer and producer incidence will come from the tax revenue. So, the tax revenue, if PED is less than 1, will be P2, E2, D, and C. So, out of here, we will find out where the consumer and producer incidences are. So, the consumers are affected by price changes, right? So, consumers' incidence will be the change in price, which is from P to P2, times by the quantity, which is from 0 to Q2. So the consumer's incidence will be P2, E2, G, and P if the PED is less than 1. Right? And the producer incidence will be P, G, D, and C, which is smaller. So if PED is less than 1, right, consumers will bear the greater incidence. The opposite will be true if PED is more than 1. If PED is more than 1, the consumer incidence will only be P1, E1, F, and P, with the producer incidence being P, F, B, and A, which is larger. PES also affects the incidence of taxation on consumers and producers. So if PES is more than 1, the incidence will be greater for consumers, as seen by the red shaded area being greater than the blue shaded area. However, if PES is less than 1, right, indicated by a steeper slope of the supply curve, the incidence will be greater on producers, indicated by a greater blue shaded area as compared to the red shaded area that is for consumers. So what if both PES and PED, the values are both greater than 1? You see, greater than 1 can be 1.1, it can also be 2, right? So you need to see which value is greater. Now, this is an important sentence that you must take note of. If the price elasticity of demand exceeds supply, producers will bear the greater tax incidence. That's it. If you like the video and want to learn how you can improve your grades, I got good news for you. This month, I'll be giving away 10 free sessions of Econs coaching. I would suggest that you bring along your past exam papers so that I can identify your weaknesses to help you better. To claim your free session, just click on the bottom of this page. I look forward to seeing you, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.